Today topic is on planets. Planets in our solar system. So remember, planets revolve around sun in our solar system, and their revolution is in elliptical orbit, and direction of revolution is anti-clockwise from west to east. So while a planet is closest to sun, its location is called perihelion. Earth is at perihelion on 3rd of January, while a planet is farthest from Sun in its elliptical orbit. Its location is described as aphelion. Earth is at aphelion, farthest from Sun on 4th of July. So remember that while Earth is at perihelion on 3rd of January, northern hemisphere has winter season, southern hemisphere has summer season. While Earth is farthest from Sun in the month of July, northern hemisphere has summer season and southern hemisphere has winter season. So we can draw the inference. Drawing inference is very important in civil services because as an administrator, even you qualify civil services, become part of the bureaucracy, there are set of data. From the data we are required to draw the inferences. So we can infer from this set of data that revolution alone does not determine seasonal changes. On Earth, any other planet. So what is going to be responsible for seasonal changes? Revolution with axial tilt. This is source of seasonal changes. And seasonal contrast is directly proportional to tilt of a planet. Greater is tilt, greater is going to be seasonal contrast. Contrast means difference between summer season and winter season. Now let us come down to which are the planets there in our solar system. So these are the planets in our solar system according to their distance from Sun: Mercury, then Venus, then Earth, then Mars, then Jupiter, then Saturn, then Uranus, and then Neptune. This is the sequence of planets in respect of distance from Sun. Remember that Mercury is closest to Sun, but Venus is closest to Earth in our planetary system. Venus is closest to Earth and Mercury is closest to Sun. Remember this. Remember that the region between orbit of Mars and Jupiter is called asteroid belt. And something which is beyond boundary of orbital boundary of Neptune is described as Kuiper belt, and objects in Kuiper belt are now described as trans-Neptunian objects. Trans का मतलब होता है something which is beyond. So now Planets are classified into two categories: inner and terrestrial planets. That is Mercury to Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are described as inner planets. These are close to Sun in our solar system. These are small in size, made of rocks, so their density is high. And remember that among planets, Earth has maximum density, and it is dominated by, its making is dominated by iron. Atmosphere is dominated by nitrogen. Making of Earth, surface and to center of Earth is dominated by iron. Remember that. Jupiter to Neptune are described as outer planet. These are large, gaseous, and their density is low. So remember that Saturn has minimum density in our solar system among planets and its density is 0.7 gram per centimeter cube. Now let us come down to laws of planetary motion. Multiple questions are there, and once laws of planetary motion has been asked in the mains too. So we need to write laws of planetary motion which were put forth by J. Kepler as a student of, yeah, as a student learning and trying to get into civil services. We are not required to use a lot of scientific jargons. First is known as law of orbit, that I have already explained. Key planets are revolving around Sun, and remember that laws of planetary motion are always related with the revolution of planets. They have nothing to do with the rotation of planets. Law of orbit, that I have already explained. Planets are revolving around Sun. Their path is elliptical and direction is west to east. So remember that the distance between perihelion and aphelion is called major axis. That is the distance between perihelion to aphelion. Perihelion of a planet position to aphelion position of a planet in our solar system, the distance is described as major axis, and half of it is described as, once we made it half, that is described as semi-major axis. And semi-major axis is average distance between Sun and a planet, and semi-major axis for Earth is, I have already taught you, 150 million kilometer, that is known as astronomical unit, and that is a unit of measuring distance in our solar system. Second law is called law of area. According to law of area, area covered by a planet in its elliptical orbit in a duration of time is constant. So as we develop law of area further with conservation of angular momentum, we come to conclusion that while a planet is at perihelion, its speed is maximum, and while a planet is at aphelion, its speed is minimum. So while a planet is moving from perihelion to aphelion, it is decelerating, and while it is moving from aphelion to perihelion, it is accelerating and it makes solar system a bounded, gravitationally bounded system with the sun. Third is laugh time. Laugh time is relationship between orbital time of a planet and semi-major axis. So remember that orbital period of a planet is directly proportional to semi-major axis to the power 3 by 2. Means as the average distance between sun and planet increases, its orbital period increases. So we can infer that Neptune has longest orbital period and Mercury has shortest orbital period. So we can also infer that the orbital period of Venus and Mercury must be less than orbital period of Earth, which is 365 1 by 4 days. Orbital period of Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune must be longer than orbital period of Earth, which is 365 1 by 4 days. Thank you all.